Welcome to this very special award ceremony of the 7th edition of the InScience International Science Film Festival. My name is Daisy van der Zande and I'm the director of this festival. And I'm very happy that we can do this award ceremony, even though it's a little different than it used to be from the other years we've done this. At this moment, we are still facing measurements because of the corona pandemic, and it wasn't possible to invite all the wonderful filmmakers to this festival here in Nijmegen in the Netherlands. So what we're doing now is a special award ceremony here in Lux Nijmegen with our jury members from the jury, the student jury and the NTR Audience Award. We'll start with the award ceremony of the InScience Jury Award. This award was introduced in 2019 as a prize awarded by expert colleagues and professionals. It is an award with a prize of €2,500 for the filmmaker of the winning film. For 2021, we've nominated 5 films, and these are In Silico by Noah Hutton from the United States, Man Ray and the Shakespearean Equations by Quentin Lazarotto from France, Solutions by Pernille Roos Grunkjaer from Denmark, Son of Monarchs by Alexi Gembis from Mexico and the United States, and The Wakeful Sleeper by Boris van der Avoort from Belgium. So we asked a jury of 3 members to carefully review these 5 nominated films, and let me introduce them to you. So here with me are Sandra Den Hamer, George van Hal and Anna Simbrero. Welcome. And let me start with Sandra. You are the director of the AI Film Museum, the house of film culture in the Netherlands, and you were the former director of the International Film Festival Rotterdam. And you were involved from the very first beginning of InScience. And I was wondering, actually, how did you become involved and why was it so important for you that InScience came to being?
When Johan van der Woestijnen, the founder and director of this festival, approached me, I was immediately interested because there was not such a festival in the Netherlands, a festival that was interested both in cinema and in science. I think that the love affair between science and cinema is actually best shown by the selection of the films that we saw. All beautiful films, very interesting by subject, but also cinematic, very interesting to see.
So our second jury member, George van Hal, welcome. You are a science editor for the Volkskrant and a writer of books on science and cinema, and I must say, probably an overall film geek. Yeah. So what is your interest actually in science and film, and especially in this combination of the two, of science and cinema?
So cinema is a very visual medium, and I think that helps to tell the story of science as well, because if you look at science in a day-to-day basis, it's a very written medium. It's all about peer-reviewed articles. It's all about jargon. It's about ideas, and to help understand these ideas, to make them available to a general public. It really helps if you get to tell a story. If you have a good story to tell, that helps to elevate the science as well. So I think when these two come together, it creates a better way to talk about science and cinema.
Yes, thank you so much. And you're the last colleague of this jury 2021. That's Anna Simbrero. Welcome. You are a science journalist and a science communicator, mainly working for television, for programs as Pointer and Anna's Brains. And we asked a reporter from InScience to go with you on your day through InScience, so they followed you around. And let's have a look at how your day was here at InScience.
So my name is Anna Simbrero. I'm a science journalist in the Netherlands and also a TV host. So I make television shows about science, mostly. So I chose to be a member of the jury because I am very interested in science. Obviously, I've always have been, but also because I make television. So I'm also interested in how do you tell a story? How do you make something comprehensible, but also how do you make it interesting to watch? And I think a science documentary, international science documentary film festival is actually the perfect way to learn some new stuff. So I experienced being a jury member actually as something very interesting, because usually I'm on the side of the maker, and now I'm actually on the side of the viewer. So I get to watch this story and ask myself, do I like the story? Do I like the movie? Do I like the way they give it to me? And also I met some new people, so so far it has been good.
So Anna, this was your first time at the festival and actually being part of the jury. How was it actually to discuss these films with your jury colleagues, and what did you talk about in the?
So actually, I think I'm the least expert in this whole group because I have no experience as a jury member at all. So for me, it was a first. And I really enjoyed it because I think what George and Sandra both say is that film is a very good medium to share stories about science because it's very visual, especially for people who are not so interested in science by nature. Then film is actually a really good way to grasp you. So the three of us looked at the movies in a very different way, I think, but all of us were looking for, well, the science behind it. Is the science clear? How well is the story told, but also how visually attractive is it? So we discussed actually just like we would discuss anything, like how did you like it? Why did you like it? What did you not like? I think we had a chat for about 1.5 hours. But we were sort of unanimously, we sort of agreed on most things.
There was no like you didn't disagree a lot, or like have mentally disagreed with the choices of any of the other jury members.
Well, we did not fight.
You did not fight. Okay, that's good.
We had a very serious and very good discussion, and we thought it was a pity it was only a few films to discuss. But we were we appreciated the whole selection.
Yeah. So let's. We ask you actually to choose 3 films as your top 3. Let's have a look at your top 3 in random order, of course. So, you choose Son of Monarchs, In Silico and The Wakeful Sleeper as the top 3. Anna, why Son of Monarchs in the top 3?
Well, we thought it was a very accessible way to learn something about several very important topics, both in science and in society, namely the struggles a young scientist has to go through, especially if he has to move from his home country to another foreign institute to do research, but also topics like economic inequality and the consequences of intensive mining in rural areas. So, yeah.
Okay, and George, so In Silico also in your top 3?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a very interesting movie, both visually and in the way that it told its story. It's about a reporter who followed a project for 10 years, and that really shows in the movie as well. So I guess that's a very important aspect of why we like this movie.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, The Wakeful Sleeper, nominated in your top 3, Sandra?
Absolutely. Well, it was fun to see the film here at the festival in a midnight screening.
Yes.
So seeing a film about sleeplessness or insomnia at midnight is an experience in itself, and the film is an experience in itself. It is beautiful to see. It's beautiful to follow the filmmaker who is suffering from insomnia, trying to solve that. And it's really, well, you just have to go and see it.
I think we still have 1 screening to go, so and it's also online, so people can see it online as well. Well, let's go to the winner of the InScience Jury Award 2021. I'm going to ask the chair, Sandra, to tell us who the winner of this award is.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I open the envelope.
You guys are such a good team.
Yeah. This film is visually and intellectually stimulating journey. It shows how science can inspire, while it also highlights the pitfalls in how we fund and organize modern research. The film follows the main character as a tragic hero of Shakespearean proportions. In short, a triumph of science, journalism and cinematic storytelling. The winner of the InScience 2021 Jury Award is...
Wow, thank you so much. This means so much to receive this award. I want to acknowledge the producers of the film, Kellen Quinn, Taylor Hess, Jesse Miller. We all worked so hard to put together this 10-year project that I had gone off and started when I was 22, and they really helped bring this to the finish line with me, along with our editor, Camille Gregoire. So kudos to them as well. And I just want to also thank the programmers at InScience for including In Silico and in this remarkable lineup of films. I've seen many of the other films this year, and it's really, truly a remarkable slate. So great work on programming this year, and to the jury for this incredible honor. After all that time making it, it's just such a delight to know that the film resonated with you, and that you selected it for this award. It means so much to us. So thank you from all of us who worked on it. We're so delighted. I only wish I could be there in person to meet you and to have experienced the festival. I hope to do that in years to come in person. But for now, all my best to you. Thank you so much. We're so honored, and this means so much to us. So thank you.
Congratulations, Noah, with winning the InScience Jury Award 2021. This beautiful award, and of course the prize of 2,500 euros, is coming your way. And thank you, jury, for being here and for filling this difficult task of rating and viewing our films. Thank you so much. I hope you still have some time to catch some films here. We will be back in a short moment with our student jury for the Student Jury Award. For the second award, I'm joined here today by the InScience student jury, and we are here with Victoria, William, with Piotr, Jet, and Emil. Welcome, guys. William, let me start with you. So can you explain to us what the student jury actually has been doing whole week here? What is the student jury all about?
Well, we are various students studying in the Netherlands from various countries. And we were very carefully selected to watch 8 movies here in this lovely festival. And so we watch the movies, and then afterwards we talk about it, we play around with how we feel, how did it impact us emotionally, see if there's any sort of differences in opinion. And then we, at the end, come together to reach a collective decision on which were our top 3 favorites.
But is watching films all you did, or did you also other stuff at the festival?
We also did other stuff. It's a good point. We also met with various directors and people involved in cinema and critiquing films, which was an incredible experience to meet all of these artists and for them to share their experiences.
So our reporter has been following you for a day to see what you have been doing. So let's take a look at that.
My name is Emil. I'm 24 years old. I'm a French student studying in Utrecht University. I'm studying animal behavior. And right now I'm a student jury at the Nijmegen InScience Film Festival. The reason I chose to be a student jury is actually it kind of fell upon me first, but it's always been really something that I've always wanted to experience. It's at the crossroads between a lot of things that I like in life, whether it be cinema, science, and communication overall.
I became a member of the jury because I believe that science is the best topic for the cinema. The films about psychology, the films about physics are the most impressive and the most interesting.
I experienced it in a different way than my other jury members. I actually did the first 3 days at home, which was actually not that bad. They took me along on everything they could, and I watched the movies at home. And I made a whole movie setup like in my home to try and capture the feeling of being in a theater.
The best thing about being a jury member in a festival like this one, I guess it's really the opportunities, getting to meet people working in the cinema industry, in the communication and in the science as well. Hearing incredible people, hearing about these incredible parkours, and just overall having a blast seeing so many movies, talking about art. And despite being very rich and very dense, I think it's an unforgettable experience and really one that I would advise to anyone.
So, Victoria, as William already explained, you have been watching 8 films and you have been actually discussing them quite extensively. You have been discussing for 1.5 hours who should be the winner. What did you talk about? What was important for your decision?
So we talked about every single movie, and we discussed its content in regards to visual effects, editing, but also the emotional responses. And we also discussed how they portrayed the meaning of the film, and well, yeah.
Did you have any fights, actually? Were you very disagreeing, like, vehemently on certain films?
Well, we have been arguing a little bit about which film had to be our third option in the top 3.
Mm-hmm. So how did you come to the top 3? So was it difficult to get there?
It was quite difficult,
yeah,
because we had a unanimous decision on the first place. And the second place was also quite easy to decide upon. But the third place, it was quite difficult for us because there were 2 films that were almost equally as good. And one person had a strong opinion about that one movie, and the others had a really strong opinion about the other movie. And also there were some personal preferences, but we don't really want to talk about personal preferences. We had to look at them very critically, mm-hmm, and in that way we, in the end, made a decision about the third option in the top 3.
Ah, great. Okay, so let's have a look at your top 3. That was the top 3 in random order, of course. Let's go to the back. Yet, what can you tell us about absolute denial?
Well, I think for me personally, absolute denial just portrayed a great way of critical thinking. Mm-hmm. At the end, it left us all a little bit like, what just happened and what was this actually about? It was also the only animated movie we've seen, which made it also like quite different from the rest. Yeah. And it wasn't based on a real situation.
It was based on a real situation.
No,
it wasn't. Yeah, like fictional. Yeah, yeah, but very, very well. Almost a thriller-like film.
Yeah, and it was. It could be a reality, which also made it quite compelling and captivating, and with a great plot twist. So.
Great. So the other two films are very different than Absolute Now. Emile, what can you tell us about By the Throat?
Yeah, By the Throat, I think it grabbed our attention quite immediately with its invitation to discuss about voice and its related organs. And I think it manages to keep all of us very engaged by questioning these relationships between the voice and the dialect, but also identity, and the way this can be weaponized in the context of discrimination, and just how all of this made a lot of sense and was so beautifully brought to the screen with the cinematography and especially the sound design as well. Everything was very challenging, I think, for most of us. It was definitely not the easiest movie to go with, but it definitely left quite the impression on everyone.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then last, The Reason I Jump, Piotr, that's the last nominated, or in your top 3. What can you tell us about that?
The Reason I Jump, I think it's a movie that we all came to agree that it's the movie that everyone should see, because it is a very emotional journey, and it shows everyday life of people who have autism, and it really makes you think and ask questions you never thought you will be asking, and it really makes you more focused about people around you, about how different is people perceptions and how different is people's lives. And I think this is the movie that is very emotional and can really change the way we look at the life around us, the people and the society.
Yeah, well, that sounds very, very compelling, actually. So thank you. I think it's time, guys. Who is going to announce the winner? I think it's you, right? Okay. So Victoria, it's time then now. Please, can you tell us who the winner of the Student Jury Award is?
Yes, I can. So as a student jury, we thought that this documentary is an intense emotional journey that shows us what makes us deeply human and connected to each other. It was able to create a safe space to feel vulnerable and emotionally engaged while displaying both brutal realism and the abstract beauty of life. It shows how little we know about autism and that we have misunderstood the autistic people for a very long time. It captures their relations with life and nature itself and how they find their own way to make this known without a voice. So the winner of the InScience Student Jury Award 2021 is...
Apologies for the sound quality on this. I'm just at an airport in Spain. A huge thank you for this award, for The Reason I Jump, on behalf of all of the production team and the people in the film. We really wanted the film to encourage a kind of change in the perception of the experiences of non-speaking autistic people, and this award will certainly help do that, so thank you once again.
Congratulations, Jerry, with your wonderful film and with winning this award. This beautiful award and the prize of €500 will be sent over to the UK. Guys, thank you so much for being with us the whole week, for being ambassadors of the InScience Film Festival. I hope you enjoyed it and that we will be welcoming you again next year as visitors, of course. This means there's one award left. So the last award we're going to talk about today is the NTR Audience Award, and here with me is Gerda Bosman. She is the Chief Editor Science of the public broadcaster NTR. Gerda, we have been working together from the very first beginning of the InScience Film Festival in 2015. So this is actually the 7th time this prize is awarded to the best documentary of the festival. Why did NTR team up with InScience from the beginning, and why is science film important to the NTR?
I think we have a lot in common. We love science and we love to communicate about science. We love telling stories about science. And as NTR, of course, we have our platforms, radio, TV, magazines, and specials and the things we do. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of space for documentaries on the Dutch channels, and specifically not for scientific documentaries, which is a pity because there are a lot of stories that are interesting to be told about the developments and the stories that are behind it from the people who do it.
And especially like the creative stories and that spark curiosity and that spark engagement as well, right?
Yes.
So this is an audience award, and which means that our audience can vote or they can rate the films. And let's have a look at how they have been experienced the festival so far. The NTR Audience Award is an award actually handed out by the audience. Why is it important for the NTR to give the name for the Audience Award and handing out a prize by the audience?
Well, of course, it's important for stories to be told, but it's also important for stories to be appreciated by the audience. And so this way we can give the public a chance to award the stories that they appreciate. And it's also meant as an endorsement to the storytellers.
As a also giving the audience a voice, actually.
Giving them a voice, yes.
Great. So for the NTR Audience Award, there were 13 documentaries nominated. Let's have a quick look at these 13 films. The variety of these documentaries is like really broad, but and maybe it's a little awkward to ask you, but do you have a personal favorite?
Yeah, of course, I'm part of the audience as well. Well, one of the films I appreciated was The Meaning of Hitler, and it looks into the legacy of Nazism. And if you want to to learn a lesson on Hitler and everything that happened. There has been so much told, so many documentaries are made about Hitler and about Nazism and the rising and upcoming and the meaning. And so if you want to tell a new story, you want to sketch some parallels about what's happening now and what's happened then, about racism, white supremacism and anti-feminism. And are there parallels? And what do these parallels mean? And I think this film is a nice, a good way that analyzes these parallels.
Yeah. Gerda, it's time. Would you do me the honor?
Of course. The winner of the NTR Audience Award 2021 is...
Congratulations. The award, this beautiful award, and the prize money of 2,500 euros is coming your way. Gerda, thank you so much for being here, and for, of course, thank the NTR for this collaboration and for the Audience Award. For you, we have a small tip. Our films are still online available. You can watch our films until the 21st of November, this Sunday. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the festival, and I hope to see you next year.